everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Lottie and today I am doing the book design tag. So Gem actually tagged me in this months ago and I did film a version and I hated it, so I ended up deleting it and I've only really just gotten around to doing it again. So yeah, if you ever tag me in a tag, I promise I will try and get to it, but it will take a while. But yeah, I was really interested in doing this tag, so thank you so much Gem for tagging me. I will leave a link to her channel in the description because she is absolutely fantastic. This tag is all about like book covers, book designs. It's why it's called the book design tag, and as someone who does cover buy a fair bit, I wanted to talk about different aspects of books that I enjoy. This does have 10 questions. The last one is to tag some friends, which I won't be doing, but we'll get to that in a bit. So the first question is a book you bought primarily or completely because of the cover. Need I say more? So I bought the hardback of Crescent City completely because of the cover, because this cover is beautiful and I wanted it in this edition. However, when I first bought a copy of this book, I bought the paperback. And this is the paperback cover, which there's nothing particularly wrong with it. It's just very, very different. And I feel like if you're going to put so much energy and money into designing such a beautiful cover of a book, why would you not just have the same illustration on the paperback? So I ended up buying a hardcover of House of Earth and Blood simply because I wanted it in this edition, and then I realised if I enjoy this series I will obviously be buying the next books as they are released, so I will need to collect them in hardcover anyway. But so I don't know why I waited for the paperback of Crescent City to be released to buy it, because I'm just going to be buying them when they are first released anyway. So yeah, I did buy this edition of Crescent City simply because I wanted it in this cover and also because I wanted it in hardback. So I'm sure you will have seen this around before. The cover on this is so gorgeous, I love it so much, and also it has these beautiful end pages with the same illustration on them, just sort of in a different shade. And then the edition I have of this is like a white and red spine naked hardback with the little crescent in there as well. So question number 2 is a book that you want to buy that has a beautiful cover. And for this I chose Lore Olympus by Rachel Smith, which I have already bought because it has a beautiful cover. So yeah, I love the cover of volume 1 of this. I just love the way the colours sort of fade into each other and they really reflect Persephone and Hades as characters. I just think it is so cute and I just love the colours in it. I think it was like the Illumicrate edition that also has the like edges sprayed with like the same colours as well, which I think is so cute. But yeah, this was a book I wanted to buy and I have bought it just because I love the cover, and I ended up loving the book itself. So question number 3 is your favourite series design. I have actually chosen 2 series to talk about for this one. So the first is the Suki Sackhouse series by Charlene Harris, in particular the editions that I have, which are these beautiful rainbow editions that I absolutely love. I have spent years collecting them in these editions just because I first of all love the way that they look on my shelves. I do have 4 of the books in like a mass market paperback size, which is really annoying, so I might end up having to swap those out at some point, but I saw them in a charity shop and it's like, well, if I could get 4 books for like £2, why wouldn't I? So that's why I have those in slightly smaller editions, but because they're in the middle, I don't think it looks too bad. But yeah, I love this series design. I love the rainbow spines and the rainbow covers, but I also love that on each book you have this sort of blood drip and there is a little picture on each of the books that sort of represents what happens in the book. So the first one we have a bat. I won't show off all of them, but like in book 4 we have a broom because witches feature in this book. So yeah, I just love the design of this series so much. There are several different editions of these books. There's one that has like a illustration of Suki on each cover, and there's also one that matches the TV show. But this is probably my favourite edition of the series. So the second one I have for this question is the Fortuna Sworn series by KJ Sutton. I recently watched an interview with an interview. Was it an interview? Was it just a live show? Anyway, I recently watched a thing with KJ Sutton talking about her newest book in this series, and she mentioned that she spent about $1,000 on the artwork for the covers of these books, which I thought was incredible, and it's definitely money well spent because these covers are beautiful. I love the illustrations on this series, and it was one of the things that first drew me to it. Each book has a illustration of Fortuna on there that I think will relate to a scene in the books themselves, because this cover definitely appears as a scene in the book. And then I only have the second and third book as well. I don't have the fourth one yet, but that's what the covers of these ones look like. So this one is book 2 with the wolf and everything, and then this one is book 3, and I just love the covers of these books so much. I think they are gorgeous, and it is definitely a favourite series design of mine. So question 4 is Dust Jacket, a book with a beautiful dust jacket or something unexpected under the jacket. So I do have 2 picks for this as well. One of them I own, one of them I don't. So the first one is The Infinity Courts by Akemi Bowman. I just love the cover of this design on it. It's nothing special about the dust jacket itself, but the cover itself I just love. I love like how holographic it looks. It's very sci-fi, very fantasy, and I just love the colours, and I love Nami on the front here as well. But also under the dust jacket here we have this little symbol, which I still can't work out what it is. I can't remember if it was something in the book itself, and I like the magenta foiling of it as well. I just think that's so cute. And so the second one I have chosen for this is Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. I don't own physical editions of these books. I have the first one on audio and that's it, but I have seen them in my library a fair bit, and I will try and insert a photograph of what it looks like under the dust jacket, which is just so cool. I always feel really guilty about like fixing the dust jacket to these books, because that's something we have to do as librarians to protect the dust jacket and protect the book. But I just think the design under the dust jackets of these is so cool and like a nice little surprise under the book. Question 5 is Naked Hardback, a gorgeous book with no dust jacket. For this I have chosen my edition of Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. I love this, it's so cute. This is a naked hardcover with a bunch of different illustrations from the book in there. So we have Wilbur the pig. I cannot remember if this mouse/rat has a name. And then you also have Charlotte on there, the spider, very tiny. And then you've got like the trees and the sun and some birds and stuff on there as well. Yeah, I just think this is such a cute cover. It's so like whimsical and childlike, and it just sort of reflects the wholesomeness of the story itself. Question 6 is a beautiful paperback, and I have chosen The Gilded Ones by Namina Fauna for this. I just think this is such a beautiful illustration on the cover. I feel like my favourite covers of this is very telling of me as a person. I just love illustrations of this style on books. So yeah, I love the paperback of this. I love the sort of green, I don't know what shade of green that would be, but I love the green sprayed edges. I really want to read this book because it sounds so interesting. But yeah, this cover is so beautiful. I just love the colours and how vibrant it is. And yeah, it is a beautiful paperback. Question 7 is a non-fiction book with a lovely cover, and I don't really pay attention to a lot of non-fiction. I don't really read a lot of it. I would like to read more, but there's not a lot of topics I'm particularly interested in, to be honest. So I don't really pay attention to like covers of non-fiction. So for this question, I chose a book that I do think has a lovely cover, and that is my edition of Burlesque and the Art of the Tease and Fetish and the Art of the Tease by Dita Von Teese. This is sort of like a reversible book where Dita is like talking about her work in the fetish world and also her work in the burlesque world, and I just really like that it has like a reversible cover for each side of the book. And I especially on the burlesque side, I really like the colours, and also it's a nice photo of her. And the same for this, I just like the sort of, I like the duality of each side, where this one's a little bit like darker and more sort of gothic, I suppose, just because of the colours, and then this one is all like fluffy and pink and burlesque and fun. So yeah, I really like the covers of this book. So question 8 is a book with great end papers, and I feel like there are so many options we could have chosen for this, but to talk about a different book, I have actually chosen 2 that are sort of in the same vein, both by George R.R. Martin. So my first one is A Game of Thrones, the illustrated edition. This itself is a beautiful hardcover, and I'm really wanting to collect all of the books in the series in these editions because they have gorgeous illustrations in them. So this is one of my favourite ones of Khal Drogo and Daenerys. I'll just hold it this side. Khal Drogo and Daenerys. Some of them are full colour, some of them are black and white, but this one is one in particular I really love. But for the end papers, you have a full colour map of Westeros on both sides. It's just beautiful. I just think it's a gorgeous way to do end papers. And so the second one is Fire and Blood, also by George R.R. Martin, which is sort of the like history book about the Targaryen family that I haven't read yet and I'm very intimidated to read. This one also has illustrations throughout, if I can find one, in colour at all. Oh god, it's really stiff. This book is so stiff. I literally have never even opened this book in the time I've owned it. How do I show this picture? Yeah, here we go. Illustrations throughout. But for the end papers, it's just a bunch of people in the Targaryen family, which I think is just a really nice illustration. And I am interested to eventually find out who these people are. And finally, question number 9 is Spine, a book that looks just as gorgeous spine out as it does face out. I have again chosen 2 books for this. So the first one is The Aurora Cycle by James? Who is James? J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. So I just love these books, like the way that they look. I think that they have beautiful illustrations on the cover of different characters for each book in the series, but I also really love the spines. I just love the vibe of them. I love the holographic foiling of the title, and I also love the colours of each of them. So the first book is purple, the second one's orange, and the third one is green, and I just love the way that they look. And so the second one I have chosen is the Folk of the Air series by Holly Black. I am yet to read this series, but I really love the way that the covers and the spines as well look. I think my favourite is Wicked King, which is why I have chosen this one to show. But yeah, I just like the way these covers look, both spine and face out as well. Especially this one, I really like the colours on it, and the foiling is very nice as well. So that was all of the questions for the book design tag. I will leave the questions in the description for you. Question 10 is to tag some friends. I can't be bothered to tag anyone in particular, especially because it's been so long since I was tagged to do this. I don't know who's done it since. So if you're watching this and you would like to do this tag, please do consider yourself tagged. You can say that I'm the one who tagged you if you want to. The questions will be in the description for you to easily have a look. So that is it from me today in this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already and would like to be, please do consider subscribing to my channel. I do try and post a new video every single week. And if you would like to leave a comment but you don't know what to say, leave the flames emoji for fire and blood. In the description you'll find link to my Twitter, Instagram and Goodreads if you would like to follow me on any of those, and I'll see you very soon with a new video. Bye!